First morning of the event, I'm in Group A, so I get to fish first. So I get to establish that cut line. Usually, last event we were sitting back watching to see what the pace was going to be. This time, we're going to find out once the score tracker starts going off. It's going to be a lot of fish caught in the first period, and it'll be interesting to see what happens after that, because there's a little bit of a shad spawn going on, and so the bite's going to be kind of quick first thing in the morning, but I expect it to slow down a little bit. You can start on a marina and the shad are spawning and get right and look like a hero. But if you start on the wrong marina, they're not spawning, and you might only catch one or two. Start on the right marina, you might catch 5, 6, 7. Dude, we got a heavy hitter fish right off the bat. £1 15 ounce. That is a good stud. There's cables that come down right there, so I was trying my hardest to get out this way with him, and he went underneath the boat, and I had to put more pressure on him than I wanted to. 3, 2, 1, lines out. I got clustered. I thought if I was going to lose him, I was going to lose him in a cable. He jumped a couple times. Solid jerk bait on there, ripped up real good. 1 pound 10 ounces. Right. I think there was more than one there, because I had one hit it and missed it, and then another one grabbed it, unless it was the same fish. Yeah, sure.
Spore's biggest today is a 4.9. His most recent was 3 pounds 8 ounces. And Spore right there with that 3.8. He is at 15 pounds 4 ounces. Remember, Gerald Spore is coming off a couple of good events, and last time we saw him, he was able to get the automatic qualifying trip. That was stage 1 on the Bass Pro Tour. Didn't fish in heavy hitters, but he was an automatic qualifier to the championship round where he finished 3rd, Mark.
Having a nice run here. 10:11 a.m. He catches one on a jerkbait, then goes on a run, adds 4 fish on the score tracker. 110, 203, 115, 308. All on a jerkbait, all around rock.
Twitching this Mega Bass 110. 10 pound Seaguar Braze X. And I might jump over there and hit 2 or 3 of them dots. I might hit that marina, and I might hit that channel swing bank, and the next channel.
2 minutes.
I can't do it all in 2 minutes. Oh my God.
Oh, that's gonna be a bit of a late here. Minute 50. 2 pounds, 2 ounces.
All right. Spots all over. I think it felt like a giant.
2 minutes in the penalty box, but he avoids the dreaded double whammy.
Thankful for today. It was tough, and if you had told me that this amount of weight I had today would have me in 7th or 8th position, whatever I am, I wouldn't have believed it, because I've seen this lake, it really turns on and then it really shuts off, and today was one of those days it shut off. Obviously the score tracker was really low, but I felt like sticking with the jerk bait all day was the key to my success. Instead of jumping around, running around like a madman, I just stuck with the program. I was throwing a mega bass 110 plus 1. I lost that jerk bait in the middle of the second period, and I got some more that should be at the house today, hopefully. I overnighted them from Tackle Warehouse, but that's the deal for me. I'll keep running that pattern through the week, and hopefully if those fish start feeding them those shad real good, start busting, we can catch some on top water, and hopefully that shad spawn comes to fruition. So I'll see you guys on Sunday. Well, hands on, you know, you eat and you get some stuffing, and you don't want to just like demolish your rice all up into it. You want to just kind of part it all out.
I don't know how hardcore you guys are. Do you eat the shell?
Yeah. No, not the shell. Here at the Bass Pro Shop in Round Rock, Texas, we just got done interacting with fans. Tons of people showed up. We signed autographs and everything. I was wanting to get on here just to tell you a little recap about day one. So day one, it got a lot tougher. Practice was really good. A lot of people were catching fish, but it got a lot tougher in the tournament. So I found my way to survive with a jerkbait. And I ran all over the lake and I caught them on a jerkbait. Had 9 bass, I think, for around 21 pounds, and that has me in 9th place right there with the top 10 guys. We're all really close, and got about a 10-pound cushion over the cut line. So, all right, we're getting ready to start day 2 here on Lake Travis. Right now about 12 pounds over the elimination guy, the 21st guy, so I got a pretty good little cushion. So hopefully I can get off to a fast start this morning and add to that cushion. And we got pretty weather today, the first pretty weather we've had since we've been here, so I'm looking forward to that. And stay tuned. With that sun out, the fish really pile up underneath these docks.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Like, you'll go from fishing for singles under the docks to being groups of 10 and 15 under the dock. You'll see them follow the jerkbait all the way out to the boat. It's pretty cool. At least that's how it's been in the past. 67.7, 69.9 when we started practice. And that few degrees is all it takes to make them shad not spawn. I'm curious how bad the score track is going to be this morning with these hot guys already. Okay, 6 ounces. On the scoreboard, I followed it to the boat. 2.5 pounder.
Really?
Just following the jerk bait. Didn't want it. I ain't hardly getting any followers. Not seeing a whole lot on facing. At some point, these fish ought to start. Once they're done doing whatever they're going to do this morning, they get tired of being in the sunlight and they're going to gather up. They should gather up underneath these docks. I think that's how it was when we came here last time. It's like we're chasing bait, roaming in the morning, and then once they got tired of the sun being in their face, they just get underneath here by big old groups.
No changes on the score track.
It's slow. We might already be safe. It's this dang slow. I mean, I ain't gonna fish like I'm safe, but okay, something a little different. It's dead as a doornail, bro.
21st place is Josh Bertrand. He's got 13 pounds, 2 ounces. 20th place is Keith Reeves with 13 pounds, 11 ounces.
screen.
Bobby Lane dropped to 12 and you dropped it to 13.
You can see everything that's happening. That's crazy. With every cast in between the dock, I got one that's either on it or he's going to get a little bigger. Hoping to get off to a fast start. Now I'm just hoping to get off to a start. The main thing is I'm starting to get bit. I wasn't getting bit at all, man. I would do some completely different stuff and getting bites. It sounds like they're just gaining on me. But let me see one more time. If I catch one squirrel and moves me 3 or 4 places or 2 or 3 places. But one thing I've learned, you either feel like you need to be scrambling and junk fishing. Sometimes you feel like you just need to stick with what you're doing and it's going to happen. But if you start jumping around and you don't stick with what you're doing, you'll miss it. That's kind of how I feel about this jerkbait thing right now. Waiting on that wind to start blowing a little more. The fish seem like they're starting to bite a little more. And eventually some of them are going to start turning into squirrels.
3 pounds, 14 ounces.
Watch it run out underneath that dock. Exactly like you told me. That should secure us. Cool. If you'd have seen what I seen, you would have thought that was cool. I saw him flash, and I thought he had it, and I just kept jerking, but he rolled on it and missed it, and then he loaded up on it. There may have been more than one there. All right, just like that, back in the game. What's up, everybody? Yesterday was very tough. The fishing got really, really bad here on Lake Travis. We had this front that came in. The lake, it brought a lot of rain. The lake rapidly rose 2 feet, and it completely changed everything. You could tell by looking at the score tracker that it was just very hard to catch a scoreable bass. Now, a scoreable bass is 1/8. I caught plenty of fish between a pound and a pound 6 ounces, but none of those fish were really biting that were above that 1/8 mark. You know, I ran a lot of stuff that I was catching them good on in practice. I ran all the stuff that I caught them on day one, but the quality went down just enough to go below that 1/8 deal. So I don't know what the deal is. The water temperature dropped to 67. It was 70 in practice, and it dropped to 67 with that little front. That was just enough to make the shad stop spawning. They were just starting to spawn, so they weren't really committed to spawning yet. So it didn't take much to make them quit. And when those shad were spawning, it was real easy just to run to a marina or a certain stretch of bank and just start throwing whatever you wanted to and catch a bunch of fish. But as soon as that came through and that stopped, those fish started to suspend and chase bait out in the middle of nowhere. You could see them busting in the most random places, and I could see them on my Lowrance active target. I can pan out there and see them, but those fish were really hard to get to bite, and most of the time if you'd get one to bite, again, it wouldn't be a scoreable. So a keeper bass over here is 14 inches, and I think a 1/8 is more like a 15.5-inch fish right now because they're kind of thin because of post-spawn. My main thing has been running as much stuff as I can with a Mega Bass 110 jerkbait. That's just a Pro Blue color with 12-pound Seaguar, a Braze X, and a Quantum. This is a 7/3-to-1 reel with a 610. This is a prototype rod. This is a 610 smoke jerkbait rod. And I just been, it's the only way. There's other ways you can catch fish, but it's the only way I'm confident. So when it's like that, I just kind of like to stick with what I know has worked for me here in the past and what I felt like is my confidence deal, and I was just covering as much water as I can with this jerkbait. I'm going down bluffs, channel swings, jerking it around floating docks, anything. If I see a fish bust randomly just out in the middle of nowhere, I'll turn that active target towards it, and if I see him, I'll throw the jerkbait at him. Sometimes they'll bite it, sometimes they won't. So it's just one of those baits that I feel like I survived yesterday because I kept this in my hand and I didn't try to run around like a madman and make stuff up and try to be slick about it. I just kept it simple. I got a couple little extra things, like I downsized my topwater bait. I tied on a little swim bait, and I tied on a DT6 in case I decide to run up the river and fish some channel swing banks or some dirtier water up there. So I'm just gonna let the day tell me which way to go. All right, here we are, day 3, Lake Travis. This is the knockout round. Very happy I'm here. Just the inconsistency in conditions caused a lot of things to change, and the biggest factor I think it was those shad had moved up to spawn and now they're not. So I'm looking forward to getting out there this morning because yesterday was hot and the day before was hot, so that water temperature should have gotten back to the 70, 72 degree range, and the shad should have started spawning last night. So hopefully when we show up this morning on one of our favorite spots, they'll be doing it and the fish will be biting. And so if not, I'm gonna run my favorite stuff that I've been running every morning. I'm gonna run all that stuff before I start doing anything different, and then I'm gonna let that tell me if I got enough going on where I can qualify for the championship round. If I get to a point where I don't think I can make that championship round, then I'm just gonna start running some new water, and my plan for that is just to keep going further north. I haven't gone further than a certain point in the lake, and I'm gonna maybe run another 10, 15 miles above where I've been going, fishing the same pattern, but just further up the lake. So we'll see if that works out.
Now fighting down to the 16.
4, 3, 2, 1. Line in. Start period 1.
Plan is fish this marina. I'll last from this marina to the next marina. Spend the first hour fishing marinas. I feel like that's your best chance of getting a bite or a good bite early. Bunch of them here, but here they're all this size. What's up, everybody? I just finished up the knockout round. Today was my hardest day yet. Today I knew what I had been doing had pretty much completely died, and I was gonna have to try some new water, some new techniques. And come second period, I went through my best stuff and didn't have any scoreable fish, so I decided to punt, and I went completely on the other side of the lake and started fishing a different way and lost 2 pretty good ones up there, but there wasn't enough water to fish because the water's so low, and a lot of guys were up there. Some of the leaders were up there, and they were kind of beating up on the little bit of good stuff they had, so I left that area in the third period, went back to what I had been doing, just hoping that they would bite, and caught 2 scorables at the end of the day, and salvaged a point or 2. Gonna be leaving here. Just glad I made another knockout round, and I got $10,000 in my pocket, and gonna go home, get ready, and we're gonna to Harris Chain next. So see you guys there.